Why Zhang Linghe secretly handled Tian Xiwei personal crisis during late-night filming. Stop scrolling because this story has left fans completely speechless. Imagine an exhausting late-night filming session, hundreds of staff members rushing around under bright lights, cameras rolling nonstop, and suddenly, an unexpected personal crisis threatens to overwhelm Tian Xiwei at the exact moment nobody expected. Yet instead of creating a scene or drawing attention to himself, Zhang Linghe quietly stepped forward and handled everything behind the scenes in a way that has everyone talking. If stories about loyalty, hidden kindness, and unforgettable late-night moments fascinate you, stay until the end because every detail will make you see their connection in a completely different way. The night began like any other filming schedule. The production team had already been working for hours. Everyone was running on little rest, and the atmosphere was intense because several important scenes still needed to be completed before sunrise. Tian Xiwei arrived looking professional as always. She greeted the staff with a smile, reviewed her script, and immediately immersed herself in her role. But those closest to the set began noticing something unusual. Her energy was different. The bright, cheerful expression fans were used to seeing seemed slightly faded. She was trying her best to hide it, but there was an unmistakable sense of pressure surrounding her. Most people were too busy to notice. Except for one person, Zhang Linghe. According to insiders, he quietly observed her from a distance without saying much. He did not interrupt her work. He did not ask unnecessary questions. Instead, he patiently watched for signs that something was wrong. As filming continued, the weather grew colder. The night air became heavier and exhaustion started affecting everyone on set. The cameras paused for a short break. Usually Tian Xiwei would use this time to chat with staff members or laugh with her colleagues. But this time was different. She walked away from the crowded area and sat quietly by herself. Her expression revealed she was carrying a burden she did not want others to see. That was when Zhang Linghe made his move. Without attracting attention, he walked over and sat beside her. There were no dramatic speeches, no grand gestures, no attempts to turn the moment into a spectacle. He simply sat there. For several moments, neither of them spoke. Sometimes silence says more than words ever can. Eventually, he leaned slightly closer and softly asked if she was all right. Sources claimed Tian Xiwei initially brushed it off. She smiled politely and insisted she was fine. But Zhang Linghe was not convinced. He knew something was bothering her. Instead of pushing her for answers, he chose a different approach. He offered support without pressure. He reminded her that she did not have to carry every burden alone. That simple act reportedly changed everything. For someone facing overwhelming stress, hearing those words at exactly the right moment can feel incredibly powerful. The night continued. However, another issue suddenly emerged. There were unexpected complications affecting her ability to concentrate during filming. Schedules had become tighter. Fatigue was setting in. The pressure was mounting. Staff members worried that delays could become unavoidable. Yet before anyone could panic, Zhang Linghe quietly stepped in. He spoke with crew members behind the scenes. He coordinated minor adjustments. He made sure Tian Xiwei could take a short break without creating unnecessary attention. What surprised everyone was how naturally he handled the situation. He did not act like a hero seeking recognition. He acted like someone who genuinely cared. Several people on set reportedly noticed his calm demeanor. Even under pressure, he remained composed. His focus was entirely on solving the problem rather than discussing it. That attitude earned enormous respect from everyone around him. As the night became even later, another touching moment unfolded. Tian Xiwei returned to filming. She still looked tired, but something had changed. Her expression appeared lighter. She seemed more relaxed. The tension surrounding her had gradually disappeared. Observers believed that was because she finally felt supported. The filming resumed successfully. Every scene required emotional intensity. Every movement had to be precise. Despite the exhaustion, she performed remarkably well. At one point, the director even complimented her professionalism. What many people did not realize was the invisible support system working quietly behind the scenes. That support system was Zhang Linghe. Throughout the entire process, he stayed attentive. He noticed the smallest details. If she looked uncomfortable, he adjusted his pace. If she appeared distracted, he helped create a calmer environment. If there was an issue, he solved it discreetly. Fans often imagine dramatic displays of care, but sometimes the most meaningful actions happen quietly. That is what makes this story so unforgettable. As news of these moments spread online, social media exploded with reactions. Fans could not stop discussing his behavior. Many described it as rare. Others called it incredibly mature. Some even said it revealed a side of him that cameras rarely capture. Because true kindness often happens when nobody is paying attention. One comment quickly gained popularity. It said that the strongest people are not always the loudest. Sometimes they're simply the ones who show up when someone needs them most. That statement perfectly summarized the situation. Late-night filming environments are not easy. People are physically drained. Mental pressure builds rapidly. Emotions become harder to manage. Under those conditions, even small gestures can have an enormous impact. Imagine spending countless hours under intense lights while trying to deliver flawless performances. Imagine carrying personal worries at the same time. Then imagine someone quietly stepping beside you and helping you breathe again. That kind of support is unforgettable. As dawn slowly approached, the filming finally neared completion. Everyone looked exhausted. Crew members stretched their shoulders. Actors reviewed final scenes. Equipment was gradually being packed away. But one final moment caught everyone's attention. Tian Xiwei reportedly thanked Zhang Linghe privately. There were no cameras focused on them. No reporters gathered around. Just a simple expression of gratitude. The smile she gave him seemed genuine. His response was equally simple. He nodded and smiled back. That exchange lasted only a few seconds. Yet those few seconds left a lasting impression. Sometimes people underestimate the importance of emotional support. They assume solving major problems requires dramatic actions. But often, what people truly need is someone willing to stand beside them without expecting anything in return. That is exactly why this story continues capturing attention. It is not about creating headlines. It is not about creating rumors. It is about humanity. It is about compassion. It is about recognizing when another person needs help and choosing to act. The entertainment industry is often associated with glamour and excitement. People see beautiful outfits, dazzling events, and polished appearances. But behind those images are real human beings experiencing stress, exhaustion, and emotional challenges. Stories like this remind everyone of that reality. Zhang Linghe did not have to get involved. He could have stayed focused solely on his own responsibilities. He could have ignored the situation entirely. Instead, he chose empathy. That choice made all the difference. As fans continue discussing these events, one thing remains clear. People are drawn to authentic moments. They appreciate genuine kindness more than carefully scripted interactions. Because sincerity cannot be faked. It reveals itself naturally. This late-night story has become memorable not because of dramatic chaos, but because of quiet strength. A single decision to help someone in need transformed an ordinary filming night into a story fans will remember for a long time. Perhaps that is the biggest lesson hidden inside this unforgettable moment. True care is rarely loud. It does not demand applause. It does not seek attention. It simply appears when it matters most. And sometimes, that quiet presence becomes the most powerful thing of all. If this story moved you, remember one important lesson. The smallest acts of kindness can completely change someone's night, someone's mood, and sometimes even someone's entire perspective. Share this story with fellow fans and let others know that behind every successful production are real moments of compassion that often remain unseen. Those unseen moments are sometimes the ones worth remembering forever. As everyone prepared to leave the set, another unexpected moment unfolded that instantly deepened the mystery surrounding the entire night. Most people assumed the situation had already been resolved. But Zhang Linghe was not finished. Even after filming officially ended, he remained nearby instead of heading back to rest with everyone else. Crew members were beginning to organize equipment while others gathered their belongings after hours of exhausting work. Tian Xiwei appeared calmer than before, yet traces of fatigue were still visible on her face. It was obvious the long night had taken its toll on her. Without saying much, Zhang Linghe quietly walked over and handed her a warm drink that had been prepared moments earlier. The gesture was simple, but it instantly caught attention. He was not trying to impress anyone. He was simply making sure she was taking care of herself. Those nearby noticed how naturally the interaction happened. There was no awkwardness, no hesitation. It felt like an unspoken understanding had developed between them. As they slowly walked toward the exit area, they exchanged a few quiet words that nobody else could hear. Yet their expressions spoke volumes. For the first time that entire night, Tian Xiwei genuinely smiled without forcing it. That smile alone seemed to say everything. The overwhelming pressure she had been carrying was finally beginning to disappear. One staff member later described the atmosphere as unexpectedly heartwarming. After hours of tension and uncertainty, there was suddenly a sense of relief surrounding everyone. The entire mood on set had transformed. People who had been stressed earlier now appeared more relaxed. The energy had completely shifted. What amazed everyone the most was Zhang Linghe's consistency throughout the entire ordeal. He never once acted differently when cameras were absent. His kindness remained exactly the same whether people were watching or not. That authenticity is what left such a strong impression. In an industry where every action can easily become a headline, moments of genuine sincerity stand out even more. As they prepared to part ways for the night, Tian Xiwei reportedly paused for a brief moment before thanking him once again. This time her gratitude seemed even more meaningful. Perhaps because she realized someone had silently protected her peace without expecting anything in return. Zhang Linghe simply smiled and told her to get some proper rest before the next filming schedule. Those words may seem ordinary, but after such an emotionally exhausting night, they carried enormous weight. And that is exactly why fans cannot stop talking about the story. Sometimes the strongest connections are not built through grand declarations. They are built through quiet actions, small gestures, and an unwavering willingness to be there when someone needs support the most. Perhaps that is why this unforgettable late-night moment continues to resonate with so many people around the world.